Back during the dark ages of the 1990s, young Chris Miller stumbled upon an artifact that would become a lifelong obsession. Now, armed with a mind full of nostalgia and a basement full of comic books, Chris attempts to analyze the art and the artist that made him comics crazy.
Why this fool got more comics than a motherfucker?
What's good, everybody? It is Chris Crazy House here again for another episode of Chris Crazy House Presents Comics Crazy. And today we're going to be doing something a little bit different from my usual type of content when it comes to the Comics Crazy review show. I'm going to be looking at a romance comic. Yes, folks, we're going to be looking at some of those classic Marvel romance books that used to come out back in the day. And this is something that was very popular during its time. And to be totally honest, I'm surprised Marvel or DC has not brought back this trend. You know, they used to make different types of comics in different genres for all types of people. They used to have war books. They used to have books that focused on love and romance. I'm surprised they haven't brought that back yet. You know, in my opinion, the way that the comic book audience is a lot more diverse now, I think it would actually work very well, and not, you know, just putting out superhero comics all the time. But that's just my humble opinion. I know it seems to still be popular both in Europe and in Asia, these types of comics. So America should probably hop on board. That's just my opinion. But, you know, we're going to keep it moving here, and we're going to focus on a particular section of this My Love issue 2, and it is the story called I Do My Thing No Matter Whom It Hurts. Yeah, that sounds like a very interesting title, don't you think so? So we'll take a look in here and see what this girl means when she's doing her own thing. And the creative team that we got for My Love number 2 are two titans in the comic book industry. John Buscema doing the pencils and John Romita Sr. doing the inks. So this is a big deal to have these two great artists working on this book. And I believe at this time they weren't as big yet. They weren't the legends that they are today. But the fact that they even worked on these books together, and you can find some of this classic artwork at auctions nowadays, is actually amazing to me, because I believe these two are probably the best at, you know, the classic art style of comics when it comes to drawing beautiful women or drawing people in fashionable clothes. These two are two of the top artists in the industry that were doing that type of artwork at this time. And to have them working together like this is definitely a treat for classic comic book fans like myself. So let's go ahead and do the flip through, and we'll see what's shaking with these girls here in My Love. So here we are for Valentine's Day, this Valentine's Day edition of Comics Crazy. And we're going to be looking at the My Love comic. And I have it here in this Marvel Visionaries collection of the artist John Buscema. And we're going to crack it open here. I know probably people are probably looking at this and saying, really, Chris? Like, you got classic Avengers, you got classic Fantastic Four, the classic issue of Thor, and the Silver Surfer in this collection, and you're going to do a damn My Love comic? Yes, that's what we're doing here for Valentine's Day. So let me flip over to it. And I don't believe we have the actual cover. Nope, no cover, but we do have our first page here. Okay, we got our main character, Faye, shaking it up at the club. And she is a go-go dancer at this specific nightclub. And this was the thing back in the 60s, obviously. She's not a stripper, okay? Don't get confused here and think that she's busting it open on a pole somewhere. No, she is just your everyday basic go-go dancer from back in the day, okay? And when I look at this splash page here, it kind of makes me think of the music from Mystery Science Theater 3000, where they were doing their review of the Charlie's Angels knockoff, and the girl was singing "Shine Your Love."
Shine, shine your love, shine, shine your love, shine your love, shine your love.
So that's the music I picture in my head looking at this specific panel here. And, she's dancing and all the people are just adoring her. And we flip over and we see that Faye is in the backstage now with the other go-go dancers. And, everyone thinks she's, got it all together. Everyone thinks she's extremely popular and super beautiful, and nothing in her life can go wrong. But when you look at her internal dialogue, all she talks about is how she basically messed up her life. And, it's all because of her mindset that she had about how she can just do her own thing. And it started out when she was really young. Her mom bought her a brand new doll, showed it to her, and she loved it at first. But as soon as she saw some other girl with another doll, she's like, I don't even want my doll. I want that doll. So that's the type of mindset that we're going to see that Faye has in her life, where, if she sees the newest thing, she wants that. Like, think of that great Wham song with George Michael singing, where I think the song was called Everything She Wants. That's what this girl is. That's who Faye is. Everything she sees is what she wants. Okay? And it showed her even when she grew up a little bit in high school, college age, she was going steady with this guy right here, Lonnie. And as soon as a new guy shows up, she decides that she's going to leave Lonnie and go off with him. She even says in her mind, she's like, he's just the type I dig. He makes Lonnie seem like Nowheresville. So my man Lonnie had bought her a shake and a soda at the soda shop. He thought they were going steady. But no. All it takes is for a new guy to show up, and Faye gets up and leaves Lonnie behind.
This bitch.
He's like, but I thought we were going steady. That's my man Lonnie's had his first heartbreak and his first run-in with the simp train. And now that he's been run over by it, I'm sure Lonnie is going to be a bad boy for the rest of his life, I'm sure, right? Maybe he even grows up to become a supervillain, because I guess this might take place in the Marvel Universe. So let's flip over here to see what Faye's up to when she gets older. So now she's a go-go dancer. Now she's chosen her profession. They didn't have OnlyFans back then. It was either being a stripper or being a go-go dancer. She couldn't get to Vegas, so I guess she's just doing it here in the big city at the club. But people seem to love her. She's very popular at this club. She's using what she's got to get what she wants, as they say in that movie, The Players Club, right? And there's a guy that just can't take his eyes off her. He falls in love immediately. He's in love with a go-go dancer. And my man only goes, it seems like, on one date here, and he's proposing already. Like, he thinks this woman is so beautiful and so bad that he has to have it. He's like, I'll put a ring on it. God damn it. I'm ready to put a ring on it. And she says yes. She says she will marry him. And she, he seems like a great guy. She said he's the yummiest thing she's seen. So she decides she's going to marry him until we get over here. And the club that Faye works at now has a brand new owner. His name's Nick Duran. And Miss Faye just thinks he is so confident, so masculine, and he makes poor Marty seem like an awkward child. So now she's trying to get her an older rich man, right? Marty's not good enough anymore. She wants to trade up and monkey branch on to this new man here. And, she's kind of flirting with him and giving him the goo-goo eyes. He says, saying like, of course I know who you are. And she's thinking that she's got this old man hooked, right? So she's like, well, all I gotta do now is kick Marty to the curb. And that's exactly what she does. Poor Marty says, how can you treat love so lightly? Marty sounding like an R&B song right here. Marty sounding like he should be, writing for Keith Sweat. Maybe he is a songwriter. I don't know. But poor Marty is getting kicked to the curb, and Faye says, "Don't make a scene." That's hard right there. That's cold-blooded, lady. You told this man you were going to marry him, and now you're kicking his little ass to the curb. Man, she sure does do her own thing. She says we all have to do our own thing. She says that through the whole book, and just basically is stepping on hearts here. I tell you. And, she kind of thinks about it at nighttime. I'm surprised she even thought about it at all. But she's like, Marty took it kind of hard, but you know what? I'm doing my own thing, and I'm going to get me some of that Nick Duran money.
She belongs to the streets.
Flip over to the next page, her strutting down the street, and like I said, she still gets a lot of attention. The guys love her. In the world of superheroes, she's still looking at, the guys are still Google-eyed and attached to the girls walking down the street, right? She's walking down there in her short skirt, and the guy's about to have an accident looking at her, right? And she sees Duran is with another woman. And he says, "Hey, why don't you meet my wife?" And she's like, "Your wife?" Yeah, she never thought to think if, this man was actually married or not. He's an older man. He's a businessman. And of course, he might be married already. This was back in the day, back in the 60s. So of course, this man is probably married. He wouldn't be just walking around single at that age. So she starts to tear up and realize, oh my damn, I just kicked Marty to the curb and this man is married. So I can't even get in good with him, because she's thinking that, he owns the club and she's going to be able to be working there and be showcased there and also be up under this rich guy. But not only is this man married, he said, "I'm getting rid of the go-go dancers. We're going to change this club into a family steakhouse." We're getting rid of the go-go dancers. So no more hoes dancing on my stage. This is going to be a family place, right? That's what I'm trying to build, a family, and I want to own a family place. I can't have you dancing around in some skimpy clothes and twerking everywhere. So he kicks her to the curb, and she realizes she's messed up. So being the selfish person that she is, Faye thinks that she's going to catch Marty on the rebound, right? She says, well, maybe if I can give him a call, I can get back to him and we can get back together. And she tries to call looking for him, and Marty doesn't even answer the phone. Someone else answers the phone. And apparently Marty has just left. His heart got so badly broken, he just decided to leave town. That's how bad she crushed him. He couldn't even stay in the city no more. Marty was all messed up. I hope Marty didn't do anything to himself. I'm hoping that's not what happened. I'm hoping that the best thing that happened to him is he went somewhere and became a supervillain. I'm hoping that's what happened, and he didn't wind up, hurting himself somehow, right? Because Marty has left town, and even the person on the phone was saying, like, damn, he looked worse than I've ever seen anyone look. He looked really down. And she claims that she's his fiance, but he said he never told me anything about a fiance. Yeah, that's because you left him, Faye. You kicked him to the curb. He proposed to you. You said yes. And then damn near the next day, you kicked him in his nuts and kicked him to the curb. So now she's feeling bad that she has lost her job. She's lost the older man that she thought she was going to get with. And she has lost the man that actually loved her. And she realizes now that doing your own thing is maybe not the way to go. Just playing with people's emotions and kicking people to the curb like this is not the way to live. And now she's basically by herself. Yeah, this is some serious red pill content, I must say. But also very well drawn by John Buscema and John Romita Sr. They did a great job with doing this artwork for this book. So that's it for this particular episode of Comics Crazy. I hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you had lots of fun with this particular Valentine's Day episode. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you go ahead and do so that you're here for the next episode of Chris Crazy House Presents Comics Crazy. If you enjoyed yourself, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button and let me know exactly what you liked in the comments section. Next week on Comics Crazy, we are going to be doing the highest selling comic book of all time. Yes, that is X-Men #1 from 1991 with the creative team of Jim Lee and Chris Claremont. We will be peeling through the pages on this one and taking a look at what made this comic book so successful. So be here next week for Comics Crazy. Once again, sub to the channel so that you're aware when we upload new content. And if you want to support the channel, you could always go to my website at chriscrazyhouse.net, pick up some of my products, coloring books, comic books, stickers, or you can become a Patreon of Comics Crazy. The links will be in the description box and the comments section. Anyway, Chris Crazy House signing out. Peace.